just behind me there, you can see a map. A map. You know what a map is? A map is a representation of an area of geography. In that case, it's a representation of the Earth, the whole Earth. Well, most of the countries on the Earth, and of course, the Earth is round. It's a sphere, unless of course you believe the conspiracy theorists who believe it's flat. So it's always a representation. It's not real. It's not full size, because if a full size version of a map is actually the world, it's the Earth, right? But according to the Shetlanders, they're not happy that the map of Shetland appears in a little box whenever it's shown next to Scotland. One of the reasons why Shetland appears in a little box when it's next to Scotland is because Shetland is about 150 miles north of the rest of Scotland. So essentially, if you want to show Shetland in its relative position to Scotland, you've got a great big lump of 150 miles of blue between the last bit of land in Scotland and Shetland. But the Scottish government, in their wisdom, have passed a map law that means that any official maps showing Shetland are no longer allowed to show it in a box. Really? Have they got really nothing better to do? Taking Shetland out of a box? And apparently this has been a running story in Shetland for some time. Well, all I can think of is the fact that it probably hasn't been that big a deal for most people who live in Shetland. Probably one or two morons who live in Shetland who've got nothing better to do with their time. And frankly, really get over it. And the problem is, of course, it makes the rest of the Shetlanders, who are probably perfectly reasonable people, look like a bunch of angry pillocks, frankly, because they don't want to appear in a box. Well, there you go. So what do you think? Do you think that Shetland should be in or out of the box? The other funny thing is that actually the only place that Shetland won't appear in the box is actually on maps that are published by Scottish Government official maps. A real map that you would use to actually navigate and go somewhere. Say, for example, from the Ordnance Survey, they don't have to leave the box out. They can just carry on the way that they've gone all along. And in fact, I quote somebody from the Ordnance Survey. The Shetland Islands is approximately 152 miles from the Scottish mainland and 428 miles from the most southerly point of the Scottish and English border. It would be virtually impossible to print a map with any usable detail of this vast geography. So, there you go. Just leave it in the box. Pillocks.